The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of the ANA or its members. On today's episode of On Scope, Inbox Army CEO Scott Cohen brings the importance and efficacy of email marketing back to the top of your inbox. And on marketing news you might have missed, is Gap's new creator collaboration platform a bold step into the future or a brand safety nightmare? All that next on Scope. Back at it like we never left. This is On Scope, the marketing podcast brought to you by the ANA and powered by Odyssey, a leading audio streaming platform. You can get your favorite podcasts, music, and entertainment all on the Odyssey app. I am your host, Mike Burbridge, and with me, as always, the producer of On Scope, Ryan Dinger. Ryan, it's a beautiful day in On Scope land, is it not?
It is a beautiful day in On Scope land. You know, some people might see today's topic, they think a little old-fashioned. Well, we got news for you.
Nah.
It's as modern as it's ever been.
You cannot.
Email marketing.
Can't sleep on that.
It's still a thing.
You can't sleep on that. But just in case there are some folks out there who are like, oh, I need the latest. I need the greatest. I need what's popping right now. Ryan, we're not leaving them out in the cold because we've got some marketing news you might have missed.
That's right, Mike. Some marketing news from the 21st century where email is still a very viable marketing platform, I may add. But yes, our story this week has nothing to do with email. Here's the headline for you from ANA Magazine. Gap Inc. threads the creator economy with new affiliate platform. Gap Inc. is tapping into the creator economy. Last week, the apparel brand announced the debut of its new creator affiliate and advocacy platform, making another step toward its digital-first marketing strategy. Unlike transactional affiliate programs, Gap Inc.'s platform is a centralized hub for creators to engage across the apparel company's portfolio of brands, which include Athleta, Banana Republic, Gap, and Old Navy.
Wow.
The program will offer access to new releases, product seeding, and exclusive promotions. Creators will also be able to distribute their content across paid, social media, and brand-owned channels. Quote, Gap Inc.'s affiliate program model emphasizes scaled community advocacy and authentic brand engagement, says Damon Berger, head of digital engagement at Gap Inc., in a statement. He went on to say, by balancing creator convenience and empowerment with rich brand storytelling, this new program will position us to build closer relationships with creators and amplify their content across all our channels and leverage data-driven insights to deliver greater impact at scale. Gap Inc.'s creator affiliate and advocacy program will initially accept applications from U.S.-based creators ages 18 and older with at least 1,000 followers on a single platform. Interested creators can apply via the Gap Creator Community website. Selected creators and influencers will be able to engage with commission-earning affiliate programs and produce gifting campaigns across Gap brands. The company says it plans to expand internationally. Pretty interesting there, Mike.
I kind of love it.
I'm surprised no one has done this yet.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, it's one of those many things that we pick up on of like, this is the most common sense, of course, thing. But yeah, like you said, like probably a half decade after they've probably had the ability to do so. But yeah, like I said, brands have got to place bets. I really like this one from Gap Inc.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Damon Berger, he says it's about authentic brand engagement. The one thing that sort of stands out to me about this is, we work at the ANA. We go to a lot of ANA events. We see the talking points throughout the industry. And what people so often say when it comes to working with creators or working with influencers is you need to find that happy medium between letting the creator or the influencer be who they are to their audience while ensuring they hit the brand guidelines, they hit the talking points. It's like I don't want to say they've had a tight leash on influencers, but it's definitely been more of a you need to be involved and make sure that like this is the right person for their brand and that the content is sort of falling in line with what people expect from your brand. And it feels like Gap is sort of letting the dog off the leash a little bit, so to speak. They're giving people more autonomy to sort of create their own content. And I do wonder what the risk reward is You know, it's a way to juice impressions, right? You can get
Mm-hmm.
more smaller creators creating content for your brand, but there's also a much less of an ability to manage the content that's going out.
Mm-hmm. So, and obviously, neither of us are privy to what the terms and conditions, what all of that is.
Mm-hmm.
One would assume, but cannot, fully say that Gap Inc. has built in some sort of guardrails within this partnership. But I think one very big thing on the onset of any of these is the creator's the one who has to opt in.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge barrier. I think that, not a barrier, I think that's a huge barrier overcome as far as authenticity and can we trust this person? Obviously, if there's cash to be made anywhere on the planet, somebody is going to try and do so in bad faith. I don't think that's a reason to not do anything.
Sure.
Truly. But for me, I think that, you've got to come to me, you've got to apply, you've got to select the brand and the product that you want to be working with. That's a lot of work for somebody who's like, the people who apply for every single job on Indeed within 100 miles of what they actually do. I think that weeds that kind of influencer and person out. And just for me, like, and this is me, this is not the ANA, this is not any of its affiliates, nor any of its members, maybe not even my own family. But I think, personally, Mike Burbridge thinks brand safety concerns have been trumped up in our industry. Like, what's the big brand safety scandal that a brand didn't have a hand in that you can tell me about?
Well, I mean, yes and no, because I think that like 95% of like scandals, brand safety scandals, to your point, do sort of come and go very quickly. And the way that the media works today, scandals are often forgotten very quickly, brand related or not. But every now and then there is that incident of a brand taking a misstep. And to be clear, at least in my definition, brand safety refers to like we talk about on the show all the time, like all the different things that your brand does, right?
Absolutely.
So even if it's a brand misstep, it still falls under the brand safety umbrella, right? We could agree with that. So I look at a brand like Target, who's had their issues with foot traffic falling this year because of some of the decisions they made around inclusivity in the beginning of the year, and how other brands sort of did similar things, but it stuck to Target, right? Like, and you can't really, like, there's no formula to know when something is or isn't going to stick, right? One brand can make the same mistake that Target did, and it's this news story for 3 days, and then people forget. Where for whatever reason, consumers sort of hone in on this one brand and decide, like, this is where we're taking a stand, and we're going to, like, make sure that they feel the pain. It's hard to figure out when that will happen. So you can't really have like a scientific approach to it. So I'm almost like, you want to just minimize the possibility of that happening as much as you can, because you can't really know when or when not it's going to become a bigger thing. Another interesting thing here is, the ability for smaller creators and influencers to actually start to earn some more money. That's intriguing to me. We hear more about micro influencers and how that's really where you need to be in terms of like authentic engagement, right? Like, you can go out to someone who has 1.5 million followers and get impression overload. But the person with 5,000 followers has a much more engaged audience typically, because they're very niche, or they just have a more one-to-one relationship with the people who follow them. So I just found this interesting. The article from A&A Magazine goes on to say the creator economy continues to surge, with the market expected to double to nearly $480 billion by 2027 from $250 billion in 2023. So clearly brands are making investments here.
Indeed.
But this is what I found interesting. Just 4% of global creators are deemed professionals, meaning they earn more than $100,000 a year. I wonder how they determined $100,000 a year. Because if I am a creator making $95,000 a year, I'm not part of that 4%. I think I'm doing pretty good for making content on the internet. You know, like, it's that. Why 100,000?
That is kind of crazy. Yeah, and are you cutting off like the first 5 to 10 years of almost everybody's professional experience. Do like 24-year-olds working in a very real office doing very real work not count because they're not pulling in six figures? Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Just a weird threshold.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird. To your point,
what's the median salary in the U.S. right now? I don't know what it is, but I know it's not $100,000 a year.
Yeah, we can definitely confirm without checking that it is not $100K a year. So while we're on the subject of creators, I just want to throw something out there. This is definitely painted by personal bias, but Ryan and I are artists in our off time. We specifically are musicians. We contain multitudes. I don't want to put us in a little box, but we're artists. That's all you need to know. And for the longest time, I personally, a focus group of one, have always looked at creators on social who just make social content. I had like a little bit of a high horse, for a while, but really today in 2025, I cannot deny making genuinely good, engaging, funny, compelling, hits your target audience content on social and keeping up with everything that happens in that context. That's a skill. That is a real skill. And it's very interesting. That specific area of creators is where I'm actually most interested in, because there's a bit of a meta thing. It is like creating in the zeitgeist in a way where you kind of know what you're doing, but there is art to it.
Absolutely.
I'm fascinated by how that evolves organically and how our industry will influence it in the years to come.
Nicely done there, sir.
Thank you. Try.
Yeah, well, you're clearly not the only one. As Gap is making a big bet here on the creator economy. So, and we'll see how it plays out over the next few years. I am surprised no one has done this yet. So, but Gap going headlong into the future. But as it turns out, if you're a marketer out there, you don't have to be totally bought into the future, because there is a present platform that feels maybe a little dated to some people, and that's a misconception, isn't it?
Oh, I think so. Email marketing, well, email in general, might be around 50 years old. Yeah, developed in the 70s.
Wow.
But to this day,
electronic mail, they called it.
Electronic mail, you've got mail, was like 20 years after the thing was developed. And that feels itself 50 years
was 30 years ago.
Yes,
I
indeed.
remember getting the first AOL CD-ROM.
Absolutely.
In the mail. In the snail mail.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. A compact disc in the snail mail to connect you to electronic mail. Every Gen Zer on the planet just like hit pause and went to something else right now. But they should all come back, because this channel's going to be around when you're a marketing leader. So you should learn a little bit about it today. And my goodness, as always, when we want to teach our listeners something, we go out and we get the guest to do it. Today's no different.
The guest on
the Marketing Podcast. Let's go. As I was saying, today's guest has been a brand side marketer in e-commerce and an agency startup veteran in email marketing for more than 20 years. Scott Cohen runs Inbox Army, a full-service email marketing and lifecycle marketing agency. Today, he joins the pod to explain why, despite its efficacy across verticals, email doesn't get the love or respect it deserves. My conversation with Scott is up next. Today on Scope, we are giving some love to a channel that marketers have depended on for decades. But where is that RESPECT? And you know who's here to kind of instill that feeling and that vibe into you? I think just about the perfect guest for this episode. Please help me welcome, remotely coming into A&A Studios, we have Scott Cohen, CEO of Inbox Army. Scott, thanks so much for being a guest on the pod.
Mike, Thanks for having me. Yes, I would love to get some respect one of these days. You know, getting the Rodney Dangerfield. Get no respect,
Hey,
you know?
yeah.
We gotta,
Well,
yeah, we gotta do, hey, you know.
Scott, we're going to do the best we can for you, but today we're focusing on email. And I think that's going to be a win-win-win-win-win situation regardless. So, Scott, as the episodes of On Scope have been rolling on, we've noticed a bit of a trend in that we are either talking about something that marketers just aren't talking about, or that they've been talking about for decades and just haven't done anything about. And I feel almost like this is a little column A, column B. So let me get to the heart of this, okay? Email remains one of, if not the most profitable marketing channel, even now in 2025. So my question to you, Scott, why does this not get the love it deserves?
You know, I think it boils down primarily to two things. The first, and I hate to say this, but it's true, it's because it's cheap. It's cheap compared to other channels, right? It's not necessarily a rounding error, but it's cheap. And the second one, which I'll dive into in a bit, is that it's easy. And notice I got the big air quotes up.
Yes,
big
yes. For our listeners and on Spotify and beyond, there were giant quotes.
Like I'm holding up some big quotation marks in the air right now.
Out the
so
sun.
When you're building a budget, a marketing budget, naturally you're going to focus on the channels that have the biggest spend, of course, you know, and just about all marketing budgets are also focused on acquisition of new customers and leads. Acquisition costs a lot of money. More money means more eyes, means more problems. I like to say that email is a bit like an offensive lineman in football. It only shows up on the radar when there are problems, right? If you don't hear about an offensive lineman all game, it means they're doing their job.
Yeah.
If you hear their name, odds are it's because they missed a block. So email just keeps chugging along and doing its thing. We had a little bit of I would call it a renaissance during the COVID period back in 2021 and 2022 when everybody went home and you couldn't, like, out of home practically disappeared because nobody was leaving their house and all these other things. And email had its moment, right? It's by the way, I'm still here. And it's still chugging along and it's still making money. But because it's not a huge line item for most organizations, it's never going to get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
On the flip side, on the flip side,
No, go for it.
It would be, email is easy, right?
Right.
And, I was just talking to my VP this morning about, and he said this. He said, emailing is easy, but email is not.
Ooh,
and
like
there's a misconception around the ease of doing great email. And the other side of the problem is bad email works. It works.
Yeah.
Why else would spam still be around? Because if bad email didn't work, spam wouldn't work. Big chunk of my headaches would be gone every day. But great email isn't easy. There's so many disciplines. It's creative, it's technology, it's strategy. It's generally not something that one person can or should do. I mean, I'm a pretty well-rounded email marketer, but you don't want me designing your email from scratch. You certainly don't want me coding your email from scratch. But often it's just a portion of a digital marketing manager's job. So I think in combination, why do companies like mine exist? Why do email marketing agencies exist? It's because people will eventually come around and realize the power behind email and give it the respect it deserves. But the talent that's needed with the budget that can go along with it typically goes with agencies.
Yeah, and I as you lay it out, I'm seeing how this is clearly a problem for marketers who really want to lean in and leverage this powerful channel. And do you think that it's partly the proliferation of bad emails that kind of limits the imagination of folks to be like, why do you need what is $5,000-$10,000, which is, literally a rounding error in some social media budgets. But is it that like, What is limiting the imagination of people who won't spend even a little bit more to see where email can take them?
That's a really good question. I think in part because, again, you know, it's cheap. $5,000 can seem like a lot of money when it's cheap. It's a little bit like, I liken it to McDonald's a little bit. It gets the job done well usually, and largely done consistently, right? The big thing about McDonald's is the consistency. You walk into a McDonald's, theoretically, you walk into a McDonald's in Dallas, Texas, you walk into a McDonald's in Juneau, Alaska, you walk into a McDonald's in London, England, you're going to have certain expectations, although we all know that the London McDonald's is going to be better.
Yes.
But the instant Happy Meal becomes $10. People go, what?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Why is it $10? But I think that to your point about, the imagination around it, plain text email is still really effective, right? It can be personalized, it can be there, but the imagination's not just about how it looks. It's about the message it delivers at the time it's delivered for people that are asking for it. And I think that's the big thing that people forget about email. Classic, whenever I tell people what I do for a living, they go, "Oh God, you're that guy." And I go, "No, I'm helping companies send emails that you asked for." Right? You signed up for email, you ordered something from them, you want to know when to reorder, you asked for that stuff. And it's that ad impression that people forget that email really is. Regardless of whether it's opened, engaged with, or anything, it's an ad impression, just like display, just like Meta, just like TikTok. But it's an ad impression that people ask for, right? And it's not subject to any algorithms outside of course, there is an algorithm around deliverability that you have some control over as a sender and everything else. I think where we get lost in respect for the channel is email channel owners should really understand their role as a backstop for all that spend on acquisition. They should champion things like, hey, you're driving all this traffic to the site. Not all of them are going to buy right away. Not all of them are going to, a lot of them we hope will subscribe for email. If you have a subscription form and then nothing goes out, what happens? If you order something and nothing goes out to say the order went through, you're not going to feel pretty good, good at all about making that purchase with that company. So email marketers would do well to go, hey, I can help you guys. I will build welcome flows. I will build abandoned cart and checkout. I will build post-purchase and all of these things so that when somebody does something with the brand that raises their hand, there's a channel, well, email, SMS, and push to a certain extent if you get people to download the app, of course. But outside the website, email is the only one outside of SMS as well that is caring about what happens once people do something that is considered a conversion for the channels that are spending the ridiculous amount of money.
I love that. I love the imagery of a backstop. And yeah, it really is. Listen, the fragmented media landscape, our attention going down to like sub 6 seconds, like getting them on the website is not mission accomplished. Like you got to stay off that aircraft carrier. And so, yeah, I do love that email is there to kind of just keep the ball in the air. I know that there are multiple companies that I buy from, and I'm not opening their email every week, but it's keeping that company top of mind, seeing it go through the inbox. So even just being in somebody's good graces where they're not unsubscribing you, like there's a lot of value. So we were talking about imagination. You just gave a lot of great kind of foundational ways that email can play a supportive role to all of these more glitzy, more expensive marketing strategies and tactics and channels. But I want to inspire the imagination a little bit more for our listeners. So could you give us some ways email can be used that marketers might not realize or fully appreciate?
So a great example, one of the best performing emails you will ever send, there's two that you will not think about. Shipping confirmation emails are one of the highest, most profitable emails you will ever send. And it's because people have purchased, obviously, but their intent to buy something else is also at its highest.
Oh, yeah.
And people go back to that email. They may delete 15 in a row of your promotional emails and then go, oh, yeah, let me go find my shipping confirmation and order through that. The other one that, of course, you kind of don't think about, but drives a huge amount of revenue, password reset. Dude. What other channel is going to send that email? Yeah. I mean, SMS, yes, SMS does that as well, but password reset emails.
Yeah, you're
Are you going to send that through Facebook? Are you going to send that through TikTok?
No,
it's email.
Never.
So it's these little things that grease the wheels that only email and to a certain extent SMS can cover, right? That no other marketing channel can cover, because obviously if they're on the website and they don't remember their password, you're not going to go through the reset process on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Too hackable,
nope.
Right? So there's got to be that sort of barrier, a little bit of barrier there, which email can provide. But you talk about other places we don't think about. Email is also, I like to say email is product's best friend. Because you talk about all these acquisition channels that are driving to, let's say you're in B2B and you're driving to a SaaS product where there's a free trial, or you get them to buy a product from you in some way. Who else is going to tell them how to use it and get comfortable with it? Who else is going to, I worked for a mattress company. Who else is going to say your mattress is coming tomorrow? You might want to clean up your room so the guys can get in there. Things like that there's no TikTok ad for that. There's no display ad for that. You're not going to see a TV ad, not yet. And, we're not to Minority Report yet.
Right.
With, hello, Mr. Yakamoto, while walking through the mall and it's an eye scan. We're not there yet. But email does all those touch points. And then you flip that around, email is also retention's best friend. Because again, your paid channels are not going to spend a ton of money to get people who've already made a purchase. They're always getting new people. So if you do a product on subscription management emails, okay, I want to pause, I want to restart, I want to cancel, those things, all those little confirmations, or hey, your next product is about to ship. All of those things come from email and SMS to a certain extent. Those are not coming from ads at all. So I talked about password resets already. Email is that squeaky wheel for account management. It greases all those wheels, right? I say squeaky wheel, but my metaphors are mixed here. The other piece that I think,
a good mixed metaphor here on Scope.
Yeah, I go back to the being helpful for other channels piece a lot, because I've done that in my career. When I was brand side, it's like I boosted up my value by going, hey guys, do this stuff. Hey, I can make you smarter. Retargeting audiences, if you can get an email, you can match it up to email. Email match will be huge. Lookalike audiences, you can guess, or you can go, here's our best 1,000 customers from the email database. Go build a lookalike audience off of these 1,000 emails, right? And then you can share, and this goes bi-directionally, I would say, but what content is working for conversion in email? Could you test those things on the website? Could you test that language in other ads? Now realize people are in different spots interacting. Like when I'm on Instagram going through ads, my purchase head is in a much different spot than going through email.
Oh, yeah.
A great example, at a previous life, we did a test of buy now from an email versus buy now on site. And then buy now was crushing on the site. We tested it in email. It did worse than the original, go see. Well, I forget what it was, but we tested like, oh, buy now is doing great. Let's test it in email against what we were normally doing, which was, I forget what we were doing. It wasn't buy now. We went, oh, that should work. This is great. Nope. Tanked.
Was it like punch you in the mouth buy now? Was it like open the email?
Yeah.
Here's an image.
Yeah. It was just a language test,
Gotcha.
right? And we went, oh, this language for some reason is working really well. It worked on site, but not in email. But those are the learnings that you can facilitate I always hate to say this as an longtime email marketer, but when you break down those silos, I'm a firm believer in rising tides raise all boats.
I love
if
that.
they get better at acquisition, we get better as an email marketer in the backstop portion of it. Everybody makes more money and keeps their jobs.
That is nirvana. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing emails function as a virtuous circle, as a way to kind of ingratiate yourself across all of those silos that you want to bust down. And I just want to personally say I cannot count how many times a confirmation email has saved my life. You know, the morning or the day before a flight, walking up to a venue of a concert. That is where your redemption comes. That has incidentally saved so many bad brand experiences that would have been my fault. But do you think I would have blamed the brand? No. So yeah, there is a lot of great stuff that you just kind of dipped into there. Stick around, folks, because when we come back, I'm going to make sure that I keep my job by mentioning AI again on this podcast. You're not going to want to miss. Ryan.
Yeah, Mike?
I have terrible, terrible news. I lost the second half of this episode.
What do you mean you lost the second half of this episode?
Like it's gone forever.
What happened?
Like we can never get it back.
What did you do?
I cut off the great conversation we were having, and now it's never coming back. And there's nothing we can do about it, Ryan. Nothing we can do about it.
I can't believe this, Mike. I'm stunned right now. I don't even know what to say to you.
Well, Ryan, I have further news.
Okay.
I was just joking. Ryan, did I impact your pulse at all?
My pulse is going pretty fast right now. You did impact my pulse. Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
Well, there's actually a good reason.
Okay.
Because I wanted to make history in our most tortured bridge to an A&A Spotlight ad that we've ever done.
Uh-huh.
And I think I did it.
I think I was the tortured one. Yeah.
Well, can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
That's
any good cook will tell you that.
That is an expression.
What I did all of that for was to bring
there
up...
be a good reason.
Well, there's a better than good reason. Okay. There's an incredible reason. It's because today we are talking about the 2025 A&A Impact Pulse Report.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Right?
The Impact Pulse Report, formerly the Response Rate Report.
Exactly.
One of our most popular pieces of content every year.
Absolutely. Istanbul, not Constantinople. We've got a new look, a new shine to it, and a lot of great information for our A&A members.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you want to see, how much potential truly sits in your email list, there are few places better to go than the 2025 A&A Impact Pulse Report.
Uh-huh.
It is going to show you how much email stacks up against other channels like paid search, social, direct mail, and why it continues to lead in engagement and ROI in so many verticals.
As we are learning during this episode.
Yeah, absolutely, but the proof is in the pudding. And the pudding today is named the 2025 A&A Impact Pulse Report.
Yeah, with the report, it says here you can see how other marketers are performing, where response rates are trending, and how to use that data to make smarter marketing decisions. I'm going to need you to finish out the ad read, buddy, because the heart rate's still...
I got deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. For our listeners who are getting their pulses going with excitement for this report, you should head on over to ana.net/impactpulse2025. That's ana.net/impactpulse2025. And now, back to the second half of the episode, which we totally have.
I was about ready to strangle you there for a second.
We are back. My guest, Scott Cohen, CEO of Inbox Army. We are breaking down all things email marketing and why everybody needs to start showing a little love to this indomitable channel. So, Scott, as I mentioned, I would be derelict in my duty if not bringing up the robotic elephant in the room, and that is, of course, AI. Now, I would love to just hear your thoughts on kind of a holistic level on AI's role in email marketing, because I've got a lot of thoughts, but I really want to hear it from the expert's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, we all get fired if we don't mention AI at least once a day.
Scott,
so,
darn tootin'.
Yeah, whether it's a podcast or just, a random internal meeting.
Yeah.
Look, email marketing has been at the forefront of AI this whole time. I mean, things that are considered AI now have been around 5-10 years. So send time optimization. Hey, send it when they're in their inbox. It's been around for 5 to 10 years. Now, has it been good for 5 to 10 years? That's debatable. Dynamic content and personalization. It's been around for 5, 10, maybe longer, right? Dynamic audience selection. Next best channel. That's been the promise of CDPs and ESPs since we were calling it big data and whatever it was before big data, right? So we've been at the forefront. That said, it's becoming more mainstream, right? And the things that have been around for years, getting faster, getting easier to deploy, it can't be ignored. It has to be embraced, thought through, and employed by people to get better, get faster, and be more efficient. The danger lies in assuming it's ready.
Yes.
And assuming it's an easy button. And assuming that the companies that are cutting people because they can be replaced with AI are going to be in for a real rude awakening if they don't have some people at the controls to go, hold on, this ain't right.
Yeah.
Because it's not there yet. We're easily 3 to 5 years at least before it's in true job replacement level type stuff. Because AI can tell you what, it can tell you how to a certain extent. It cannot tell you why.
Preach.
It'll try. It will try to tell you why. And it can do great things like data analysis and putting things in tables. I mean, I'll give a great example, right? I'm an old copywriter. We had a couple press releases I had to kill off, and the company goes, hey, why don't you just take one of your blog posts and make it a press release? And I go, oh God, I don't want to do that from scratch.
Right.
And so I went to ChatGPT and I said, take this article and put it in a press release format. Took that down and then rewrote it, right? To a certain extent. I'm like, oh, cool. The formatting's in there. I have the template. I can run with it.
Right.
But I would never just take it verbatim.
Who knew?
Almost never, right? Because it doesn't get nuance. It doesn't understand, without building a custom GPT, which takes time and training, it won't understand the brand ethos. It won't understand the brand voice. It also won't truly understand why customers make their decisions or lack thereof. That why,
yes.
Right? That why comes from reps, from failures, wins, mistakes, all the things that I can name gray hairs and white hairs after them on my head and in my beard, right? Like those are the things that every so often it pops up in a dream and go, oh crap, I didn't want to remember that. AI doesn't have any of that.
No.
Doesn't have any of that. So that said, again, if you're not using AI at all, your job is going to be in jeopardy because it is about learning the new tool. This is where we are now is like, I have a coworker who likens it to the beginnings of the Industrial Revolution with the steam engine.
Interesting.
Right? You had to adopt the steam engine. The early steam engines weren't great, but it was a harbinger of things to come. So if you're diving in, if you're experimenting, you're getting more knowledgeable, becoming an expert on using AI as a way to make you a better employee, a better worker, you'll keep your job, you'll excel. It's the folks that are the Luddites that are going, I don't trust this, I'm not going to use it at all. They're going to have issues.
Yeah, 1,000%. And what I've kind of come down to it is like in the areas where you're not an expert and you're not deeply fascinated, you would do well to gain an appreciation of some sort of those areas because you cannot fully avoid them, but not everybody is going to become an expert in every area, but like you really do at least need to appreciate what AI can and can't do, because I think it's the folks that get the context in which AI is really helping folks that are going to, in those 3 to 5 years, they're not even going to be thinking about it as a thing they need to do or leverage. It's just going to be part of the air they breathe.
Yeah.
I really
Well, it's like the internet. It's like the internet, right?
Yes,
The internet.
yes,
The early
exactly.
days of the internet.
Yes.
People went, "What the hell is this thing?"
Right.
And you know, it's the people that embraced it got ahead of it.
Yeah.
We were literally using the internet to record this thing.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes, we are.
And 30 years ago, people were going, I don't know. Still, I don't know. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the early, what was it, Prodigy and CompuServe.
Oh, heck yeah,
and
man.
I grew up outside of DC. I was in AOL 1.0. Like, that's where AOL was based and started, was in the DC area. And so we were, before the CDs painted the country, they painted the Northern Virginia countryside. And so, you know, I'm not quite digital native. I'm as close as you can get and not be a digital native, but it is that disruptive. It will be that disruptive. So you gotta learn it. You gotta get on it. Now, would I rather do my dishes and my laundry than my job? Absolutely. But, you know, we're not ready for robot butlers just yet.
Not quite yet, but I am chomping at the bit for that. Yeah.
Oh, that would be so great.
But I love the comparison to the Industrial Revolution in that you cannot wait for perfection to start understanding the change that is happening. And, you know, like the early days of Web 2.0, even like people who were on Friendster and on MySpace and at least had an appreciation for what was going on there and why it was attracting so much attention. When Facebook started to become the kind of, central point of gravity online, it was those people who were jumping past the what am I doing on here and getting to, where is the attention? How might I use this? So yeah, I love that take on it. And yes, and thank you for kind of pointing out that like AI, we were all running around and it's shiny and it's new, but no, it's not. It's been here for decades. It's called automation and machine learning. You've been benefiting from it for your entire career. But so let's go on to a group of people for whom AI will be air for most of their life. And what I'm talking about is Gen Z and even the upcoming Gen Alpha. Now, we've been talking about the staying power of email, but I wanted to know from your opinion, is that going to continue through into the rise of Gen Z, a generation seemingly perpetually on social media?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
it'll
be fine.
Break it down.
I mean, email's been around for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Longer, 50 years, right? It was invented in the 70s, right? And it's been relevant in marketing for close to 30 years for a reason. And it's an owned channel, so you own that data. So yes, will Gen Z treat email differently than my generation? Absolutely, they will. But studies have shown they still want marketing stuff in email. Mm-hmm. They want to separate it from their daily stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because the things like it's the influencer marketing on TikTok that's driving stuff, right? Not necessarily the brands themselves.
Correct.
I also will say, until all company announcements are made via a TikTok video or dropped in a snap, I think email is going to be fine. I mean, if you think about how long it's taken for the world to accept signatures on real estate contracts digitally, DocuSign's been around forever.
Oh, yeah.
And real estate hasn't caught up until the last 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah.
Some of them still require a wet signature, right? Contracts, things of that sort. You're going to have the online component of that. Could you imagine a contract being sent by Facebook?
No, good Lord.
Or things like that. So email, the value of email as a paper trail alone keeps the channel alive just by itself. Right? When you're sending official documentation to somebody for maybe it's a performance improvement plan or a job offer letter or things like that, those details come online and get finalized through email, right? Because you want that record somewhere. It's going to be a powerhouse. Email and SMS. WhatsApp is starting to, I think it's over 100 million users in the States now.
Yep.
I mean, overseas, it's out of bounds. But as a marketing channel, those three, if people sign up for email and SMS in particular, they're 3 times more likely to convert than email alone. So I think email by itself will not be as powerful as it was. But email and SMS together, and email as a part of a holistic, high-functioning marketing program, is going to continue to crush, because people, I mean, even now, I like to say I'm a marketer. I view things differently. I don't. Right? When something goes wrong, I know why, but I still view emails very much from that consumer perspective. I triage, I delete like crazy. I keep things if I want to look at them later. The number of times I've seen an email and I go, oh crap, let me just go to the website. Like it still has that add impression functionality, and it will. We had all this freak out, and still, because Apple's introduced it in Apple Mail, but tabs in Gmail and categories in Apple Mail. People are like, oh my God, I don't want to be in the promotions tab. Yeah, you do. Because when people go in the promotions tab, they're looking to shop.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to go away. I don't think that's going to go away. Is it going to change? Absolutely. Are the rules going to get harder for email? Because for some reason, because it's cheap, people have put laws on it to, like, you can't send an SMS to somebody that hasn't signed up legally.
Oh,
but you can for email in the States. I can imagine if we get to a certain point, not necessarily this Congress, but there may be a point where privacy laws get to a point where the federal government goes, okay, we're now an opt-in country, not an opt-out country. But email has survived a lot of things. We survived the spam Wild West in the early 2000s, and the reason they did the Cam Spam Act was because it got out of control. We survived that, and people went, now that this crap is not getting through, it's okay. The number, what was the stat I saw? That Gmail blocks 99% of email.
Damn.
That comes through. That's how much spam is out there.
Damn.
It's 99% of email. So if you think about, you're getting a lot of email now from places that you've likely signed up for, just imagine if the community wasn't trying to protect it so much.
That's
wild. There's a value in this community of, we want people to get the messages they want at the right time that's useful for them. And then good marketers go, how often do people buy? How often do people do this? And I just don't, again, I think its place in the mix might change and its attribution might change, but it's not going to die. There's no other channel that does as much as email does.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it's providing a function. It provides usefulness. I think what you were talking about earlier, the confirmation emails, the reset your password emails, as long as those are connected to the most popular places out there in the web, it's going to need to be a key point of everybody's kind of digital existence. Scott, before we wrap up, is there a piece of advice, a key takeaway that you want to kind of empower marketers who are looking, obviously they want to give some more love and respect to email, but to kind of level up their game? Is there one kind of thing to think about? Is there one challenge you want to put out there? What would you like to leave our listeners with today?
If you're wondering how to use email properly, document your desired customer life cycle. Where people raise their hands, are they subscribing on your site? Are they going through a cart process? What's the purchase process look like? What does post-purchase look like? Do you want to get referrals? Do you want to get reviews? Do you want to get people to buy again? Can they buy again? Like, really take that full, literally go to a whiteboard or, Miro or one of those, Figma or, FigJam, whatever it is, like literally map it out and go, oh crap, where can I have email plug in these holes? Because I do that. I do. Every brand I've worked with, whether it's been on the agency side or when I was brand side myself, I literally drew it out and said, oh, we don't have stuff here for when people leave their cart. We don't have stuff for, I mentioned the whole, hey, get your room ready for your mattress that's coming tomorrow. Hey, you get the mattress. There's an adjustment period. Like, think about all the messaging that you want to have so your customers have a great experience and it's as seamless as possible. I'm guaranteeing most of you, or maybe not most of you, but a good majority of you will not have all your bases covered.
Yeah.
And you'll go, I can't cover those with my Facebook strategy. I can't cover those with my TikTok strategy, but I can cover those with my email. And I can cover those with potentially my website with the email feeding in. Right. So that's the challenge, right? Is get beyond just that promotional mindset. I'm going to mail everyone that's ever joined this list ever. I mean, I could spend an hour talking to you through all these programs, but just document it, draw it, and go, these are the decisions I expect my customer to make, right? So I expect them to, because you have to think about it in a broad scale, especially in these days with social ads and everything else. I guarantee you, people that come to your website to sign up are going, can I get 10% off more before I finalize this purchase? And then you have the other side of it, people going, I just want to learn more. I'm not ready at all to make a decision. So you gotta factor that into play. But really it boils down to, what are the decisions they have to make? How long do you think you can start with hey, generally we think it takes 30 days, 7 days, whatever it might be to make that initial purchase decision. And then it's a bucket, right? It's a leaky bucket. Every funnel that we have, you think about it like a bucket with holes. Email, you can be the guy in the old cartoons where like the holes are coming in the wall and the water's coming out and they're growing hands and fingers and stuff. Like, that's what email can do. So go through that exercise, find where the holes are, prioritize them in the order of what will make you the most money quickest. So I always say, start with those first touches like welcome and cart abandon and things like that. And then fill it in with email, automate it, and then you'll start making money hand over fist.
Listeners, you have your assignments ready, set, go. Scott, thank you so much. I knew that there was a treasure trove of insights and advice to be uncovered about this absolutely vital channel, and I knew you were my guy to deliver the goods. Scott, it's been such a pleasure having you here as a guest on Scope.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, folks, that was another episode of On Scope, the marketing podcast. Big thanks for my guest this week, Scott Cohen of Inbox Army, for beaming into the studio and dropping some hard truths about email marketing, why it gets overlooked, and how you can supercharge that channel for your organization. As a reminder, if you have a topic or guest that you'd like to see on a future episode of On Scope, go ahead and shoot us a note. We'd love to hear from you. That email address? onscope@ana.net. And now, as always, here is your moment of marketing meditation. Take a deep breath, relax those shoulders, and consider the following from author Sidney J. Harris. The two words information and communication are often used interchangeably, but they signify quite different things. Information is giving out. Communication is getting through. Think on that, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation of ANA Studios.